welcome to the 17th edition of SOT Events, Guardians of the Future, Shaping Tomorrow with Generative AI. As the moderator of today's panel discussion titled Canvas for Change, Art as a Catalyst for Social Awareness, it's my distinct honor and pleasure to welcome you all here. Today's panel discussion promises to be an enlightening discussion, and without further ado, allow me to introduce our distinguished panelists. Introducing Tazeen Hussain, an associate professor at Habib University. With a background in communication design, she has led various academic programs and is active in the media as an actor and a voice-over artist. Tazeen also chairs the design category for the ADA Awards and is the founder of the Karachi Collective. Next, we have Tapu Jhaveri, a leading Pakistani photographer known for his work in fashion and photojournalism. With over 30 years in the field, he has captured notable personalities such as Aung San Suu Kyi, the controversial Burmese politician, and Madame Noor Jahan, among others. And he's also won accolades, including being named one of Nikon's top 32 pro photographers in Asia. Tapu also engages in charitable projects such as the Jinnah Patients Aid Foundation Board, using his art for social impact. Then we have Dr. Yaqub Khan Bangash, a historian focused mainly on modern South Asia. His research covers post-colonial state formation and identity conflicts. He has published extensively, including his books on the integration of princely states in Pakistan, and recently completed a fellowship at Harvard. Currently, he serves as Dean at IT University, Lahore. And lastly, we have Sonia Chandragar, a visionary in contemporary art. Through her layered abstract paintings, Sonia delves into themes of perception, reality, and the complex emotions we often compartmentalize. Her spontaneous meditative process uses unique tools to create textured, multidimensional pieces that invite each of us to find our own meaning. With a focus on color, form, and the physical act of painting, Sonia's work is a powerful muse for introspection and self-discovery. So before we start with the questions, I'll let you know a little bit about today's topic. And the theme is Canvas for Change, Art as a Catalyst for Social Awareness. This panel discussion aims to highlight the role art plays in encouraging collective action against societal injustice. Ultimately, it reveals how art can transform public perception and drive meaningful change, highlighting the crucial role creativity plays in social justice movements. So let's start with Tazeen. Tazeen, you have a background in communication design. And can you tell us a little bit about how design plays a role in engaging audiences? And can you also share examples of how projects, of any projects that successfully used art and design to raise awareness?
Okay, thank you so much for that question, Chanze. So I think a project that I would like to speak about first is a project that I did last year with Zindagi Trust, in which my students from IVS engaged with Zindagi Trust's Department of Education to create digital safety toolkits for girl students aged 12 to 15. This is a good example of how we can create awareness around a very important aspect, which is raising its ugly head in our society over and over again, and the last panel was also talking about it, which is to create awareness on the issues that can exist in the cyberspace. Zindagi Trust has done great work. It was a project which was in collaboration with the Sindh government, and हमारे students ने Zindagi Trust के साथ मिलके कंटेंट भी क्रिएट की थी जो कि उनके स्टूडेंट्स को बताती थी कि डिजिटल सेफ्टी के मेजर्स क्या हैं, ठीक है ना, एंड लोकली कंटेक्चुअलाइज्ड भी था, And मज़े की बात ये थी कि दोनों languages में print भी हुआ और produce भी हुआ. And along with TikTok, which was one of the sponsors, and the Sindh government, and I think Pakistan Telecommunication as well. So they converted this into a program which was then spread across 60 schools all over Pakistan. The toolkits were used to train students and teachers, and part of the toolkit was also these booklets that then were sent off to those students' parents to educate them about digital safety as well. So, you know, projects like this where you collaborate with the government and the wider segment of society, मतलब कि ये सिर्फ designers नहीं हैं, ये सिर्फ artists नहीं हैं, जो अपनी एक जगह पर बैठकर कुछ create करें, but they engaging at a much larger level with stakeholders from society. इस तरह के projects जो हैं, they go a long way. The fun thing was that the toolkit that they created was actually illustrated, so it was engaging for kids. उसके साथ workbooks भी थी. There was a comic which was then illustrated by another famous illustrator. तो वो पूरा toolkit जो था, that became part of the package that created awareness around this important issue. एक तो ये project था. I would also like to mention another project, Risk Karachi Biennale इस साल जो हो रहा है. जैसे कि कराची बिनालीज जो होते हैं वो public art programming होती है, right? तो उसके अंदर ये होता है कि आप गैलरी से आर्ट को निकाल के पब्लिक तक लेके जाइए ताकि पब्लिक को भी समझ में आए कि आर्ट होती क्या है, आर्ट का फ़ायदा क्या है सोसाइटी में. और इस वक्त हम बैठे हुए हैं कराची में जहाँ पर ये कराची बिनाले हो रहा है और उसके इस साल की थीम है रिस्क एज इन फूड एंड इट्स अबाउट फूड इनसिक्योरिटी, राइट? सो रिस्क एट रिस्क, उर्दू वाला रिस्क एट, यू नो. सो आई थिंक दीज आर areas of engagement and opportunities of engagement where art and design can really address issues that are part of the complex social problems that we face these days.
Thank you so much, Zeen. These are really good examples of how design can help create social awareness. And in a similar vein, Tapu, can you tell us a little bit that given your extensive experience in photography and photojournalism, where you've worked with the biggest names in media and you've also captured real life, what role do visuals play in changing perceptions about social issues, and how can they effectively reach the people that they're meant to impact?
Hello, am I there? Yes, I am. Thank you for that question, and thank you for everyone coming here. To start with, I have to first tell you all, I am not a person of words. I believe very wholeheartedly in the picture is worth 1,000 words, if not more. Having said that, the medium of photography, which I am a part of and I would talk for, is a very unique medium in that it visually transcends borders. It has the ability to evoke the most amazing emotions out of people, and visuals end up creating empathy, and hence it's easier for people to be motivated towards whatever social change you want. Is not coming? Sorry. I can hear myself very loudly though. Anyway, I'll give you a few examples of images which have created social change. I'm sort of jumping ahead myself, but anyway. Everyone knows the famous Steve McCurry photograph of the Afghan woman with the green eyes. Well, that image created a stir and made America and the rest of the world aware of the plight of the Afghan people. And apart from that, there's a 200 or 100 plus year history of social awareness created through photography. And I think it's not just photography, it's also social visuals and art. But, you know, I'm really laconic person, so I'd rather not speak much, and I'll just show you one image if you can setting. Years ago, we tried to get funding for the, I think, 2017 floods in Pakistan, and we couldn't. It didn't have. One image which I put up, hopefully right now, okay? This image ended up making enough money to create 3 villages of the poor displaced people. So photography has this really, I mean, we're going to be going into this, I guess, more, but it has the ability of documentation and telling truths, which again is something which is now doubtable, but even then. So when you say the camera doesn't lie, you now have to put a little bit of, I guess, a tongue-in-cheek thought to it, but even then, I hope the visuals, that was my closing statement, that could be the image, but even then. Anyway, thanks.
That's a very powerful visual, and yeah, beautiful. Also, visuals speak louder than words. This is like a very good example of that.
That was my thought, that I'll show you all this and then tell you that,
yes.
you know, this is, I mean, just walking into the flooded area, this was just one image of what I saw. And prior to that, we could not get the funding. And once we got this image and just threw it all over, I ended up getting quite a bit. Anyway, thanks.
That's amazing. So let's move to a slightly different aspect. Dr. Yaqub, with the HEC making civic education a compulsory part of the undergraduate art curriculum in Pakistan, how do you see this enhancing community engagement and social awareness among students?
Great. Thank you for that question. It's good to be here. I should say, out of all of them here, I'm the only one who's not an artist. But I think that's where there is to be an important conversation, because for a lot of the times, art has been a conversation of artists amongst themselves, of different kinds of artists, but it's always been a conversation amongst artists. It's either become very elite, कि जी ये तो अमीर लोगों को आती है समझ, या वो करते हैं, या जिसके पास बहुत time है, or something like that. And it has lost touch with how it can affect the common man. And you know, you just mentioning like the Biennale, that's one of the elements of it, that it should be public, ताकि लोग इससे engage करें and really try to understand this. And I think in that sense, this cross-conversation, only that cross-conversation will lead to any kind of social change. And these days, you know, as you just mentioned, the HEC has made it compulsory, not just for art education, but for any kind of education now in Pakistan. Civic education and community engagement is a very important element, and as a compulsory course now. So, वैसे तो HEC comes up with lots of dumb things every year, because I think they're paid for that. But someone perhaps who was unpaid figured out, okay, let's do something good out of it. And art, in all its different forms, is, I think, a very critical element of civic education. इसकी बड़ी simple सी example है, when I teach civic education and we talk about even the idea of rights, we begin from the Renaissance. And Renaissance में क्या हुआ था? The main thing that kind of pushed Renaissance was art. It was architecture, it was painting, it was not just the philosophers. Philosophy had been there for thousands of years and doing really good work. But the real change that the Enlightenment brought and the Renaissance then, what the Renaissance brought and the Enlightenment took off from was art. Because art can express a lot of those things that language cannot. You know, as you were saying, that picture is where language ends. You know, you don't need to have 6 paragraphs with that picture. That one picture is equivalent to a book. And that is the connection we need to come back with, because at the moment we are a country where there is no civic sense, and it has nothing to do with education any longer either. You go out on the street and you would not find a motorcycle wala wearing a helmet. आप उससे पूछेंगे जी why, and they'll be like, oh, मेरा hairstyle खराब ना हो जाए. It's like your head can break, but you still don't think that this should be done. Or anyone breaking a traffic signal, or you know, just very basics. And that really comes from the fact that we do not understand it at all. Now, through art, you can actually understand things, you know, through visuals. People have understood, and I've seen, and we are hopefully trying to experiment that in Pakistan, trying to make people understand about human rights through comics. You know, make a comic for little kids about what rights are, make them, you know, visualize it, you know, use digital artists to actually look into it and really make people understand. Then, on the other side, there are lots of issues that people don't talk about, or people don't want to really express in words, that they can do with art. You know, one very fascinating thing that we often come across in terms of marginalized communities is that a lot of their expression comes out through art. Because they don't have the words of articulation. But the Pakistan mein to, you know, and hence I'm switching a bit between Urdu and English, because I think that is what Pakistan's become. We are not proficient in any language. If I ask my students कि जी एक ज़बान में मुझे article लिख के दे, तो it will, even if it's in Urdu, half of it will be English words. So we are no longer proficient in any language. That's very, by the way, very deliberately done. Very, very deliberately done. We can fix it, but we just don't want to. And therefore, art actually is one place where, without the use of words, you can actually express yourself. So if you integrate this into questions of civic understanding, about rights, about responsibilities, it will become a critical factor, because only then you'll be able to understand those social issues and change. I'll just give you one example as, like a civic education thing. The main question about freedom of religion. If I give a lecture about the freedom of religion, a lot of people might just want to kill me because that is something that Pakistanis don't really like. But if it's expressed through visuals in saying how do you deal with the difference of religion in terms of an artistic expression, be it a painting, be it a sculpture, be it anything else, you can actually expand the boundary quite a bit. So in an environment where you have restrictive things, art actually opens up that space beyond language that can be harnessed for real and concrete social change. So I think that's a very important element that we must integrate, and unless those cross conversations happen, things will just remain where they are and never change.
Thank you, Dr. Yaqub, for that insightful perspective. And now let's talk a little bit about visual art itself. Sonia, you're a visual artist who primarily exhibits in galleries. So do you think that showcasing your art in these spaces effectively reaches, it raises awareness on a larger scale? Or do you feel that public art and open spaces has a greater impact in reaching larger audiences?
Thank you for having me. I'd like to say the audience that, the target audience of a gallery is a very specific audience. It's maybe point-something% of our population. And it's specifically targeted to people who enjoy art, who understand art, and who have the mental space to absorb the art. I feel Pakistan is a country that lives in a constant state of trauma. So when you're in a constant state of trauma, you don't have the mental space to absorb any form of art. So it's only my opinion that public art, I don't feel, is so effective in Pakistan, because if you're just basically trying to survive, you're not going to have the time or the mental capacity to sit and enjoy a piece of art or understand what they're trying to say. So I believe more in teaching hands-on skills, which I will talk about later on in our discussion. So I feel art in Pakistan is directed to a certain audience. And first we need to build up the mindset and get the nation out of trauma before we can enjoy public spaces of art.
Thank you, Sonia. That's a very refreshing perspective. Thank you for that. So let's talk about how different artistic mediums contribute uniquely to social advocacy. Tazeen, you are also an actor in various TV serials. I'd like to know that do you select your roles primarily based on the social messages they convey, or are there other factors like perhaps the directors, the co-actors, and the quality of the script that influences your opinions?
Okay. I think I first like to read a script very, very carefully. कि उसकी content है क्या, कहानी क्या बता रही है. हमारे यहाँ जहाँ पर education इतनी widespread नहीं है, television medium पाकिस्तान में उसकी बहुत बड़ी reach है. मैं काम भी television पे ही करती हूँ. So television के through जो messages आपकी public को जाते हैं, उसमें एक बहुत बड़ी जिम्मेदारी होती है कि हम किस तरह की कहानियाँ सुना रहे हैं, किस तरह की कहानियाँ प्रमोट कर रहे हैं. सो मेरे लिए एक स्क्रिप्ट को पढ़ना बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है कि वो कहानी किस चीज़ की है. वो कहानी सप्रेशन की है, गिविंग अप की है, या वो कहानी किसी के दिमाग को खोलने की है, फाइट की है, अपने ऑब्स्टिकल्स को ओवरकम करने की है. वो कहानियाँ मुझे अपील करती हैं, एंड आई गो फॉर दोज स्क्रिप्ट्स. As far as looking at the team is concerned, I do believe that creatives need fellow creatives with their own kinds of values in order for them to be able to produce something meaningful. If I choose a story and the team with me is not a believer in the values that that story is trying to instill or to tell or to bring out through that narrative, then we are going to end up doing a slipshod job. And so the team is equally important when you look at, this is the story and here's the team that I'm going to be telling this story with. The third thing that you have to think about is your equation with the team. So between actors and directors and actors and actors, there has to be that energy of shared values, shared community values, you know. So unless that is there, your art or your creativity will never have that kind of meaning that you are trying to give to audiences. So this is how I choose my scripts and my roles.
Thank you for that wonderful answer, Tazeen. So now let's move on to a question that's related to the overarching theme of this conference, which is AI. And Tapu, I'd like to ask you, as a renowned photographer, do you think, you know, tools like generative AI tools like Photoshop's generative fill, DALL-E or Midjourney, etc., there's so many these days. Do you think they could help enhance your storytelling in photography, or is AI something that you choose to completely steer away from?
Okay. All right, AI is, well, to get to AI, you have to go to the history of well, photography and what we've been doing so far. At least when I started, you had no such thing as AI. There wasn't even a Photoshop. So I started with documentary photography and fashion, and they sort of went hand in hand. And for fashion, it was you had models who you would do doing a fashion shoot. You would bring your model, and she would hopefully, if you saw her the night before at some party, you'd tell her off and say, you know, go home and do your beauty sleep. And she came without bags in her eyes, and you lit her and whatever the hell, and the shot happened. Then all of a sudden, Photoshop came up. And when Photoshop came, then models sort of became a little lazy, photographers became definitely lazy, and everything was Photoshop mein theek kar lenge, all right? Now AI is here. Now you don't even need the model, okay? You don't even need the photographer, all right? The other side of the story is documentary photography, okay? So when you're documenting something, you have to be as true to the image as possible. And if you're not true to it, then you're not creating a document, because that's what photography does. It documents something and it leaves you this little capsule image which you can look at, you know, whatever, hundreds of years later, and you can say that this is what our lives were. So it's encapsulating whatever the cultural epoch or what was of that era. It's actually photographing it and reserving it for posterity. I know I photograph heritage buildings all the time, so if I used Photoshop or AI or anything, I mean, I would love to take these beautiful buildings which I'm photographing and get rid of the electric wires and, you know, the whatever, the dirt on them, but the problem would be I wouldn't be telling a true story. So the idea, you know, that again, the camera doesn't lie, but AI does. So you have to, there has to be some kind of, I guess, a governing body, like they were talking about earlier about, you know, cybercrime. There has to be a governing body over the cybercrime, which is photo manipulation.
It's also so difficult to tell what image is generated by AI and what isn't, because I think you were mentioning that there was some competition where, you know, somebody sent in an image that was generated by AI and they won or something?
I don't remember the specifics, but I know in my photography community there was a gentleman who, there's a Sony Photography Award, which is like one of the biggest in the world, and he, as a joke, put up an AI photograph and won. And then had the audacity to go to the stage, accept the award, and then turn around and tell them, this is what I did and how you gave me an award for it. So things like that have to be controlled.
So, Dr. Yaqub, how can art convey messages about conflict and address controversial or sensitive topics that are difficult to express in words? And in what ways does art become a powerful medium for exploring these issues when verbal communication falls short?
Gee, thank you. It's a very important question. But the last conversation हो रही थी, but just want to say that probably tells you कि award shows नहीं होने चाहिए. You know, there is always, you know, like an old joke that I heard कि जिस बंदे को award नहीं मिलता ना, वो फिर एक नया award show खुद बना लेता है. So that's why we have more and more award shows about things. But khair. Anyways, but coming to the serious, actually, the serious question, मेरे ख्याल में this is an intersection that we must really focus on because, you know, why art? ठीक है, a lot of people who are here, मैं अभी देख रहा था कि there are lots of young people here. Some of them might be interested in art, but some of them must be thinking, what is it? ये तो time ज़ाया है ना, ठीक है? And this is for a lot of parents here. I'm sure there are lots of parents here. A lot of parents think कि जी वो बच्चा artist बनेगा ना तो time ही ज़ाया करे, ये तो नौकरी नहीं है ना, नौकरी ढूंढे, right? So we need to kind of again change it from the idea of what it is supposed to be, right? What does it supposed to channel? And again, जो हमारा आज का topic है, we wanted to channel social ideas and thinking. Amongst other things, you know, art can also be there for art's sake. ये भी नहीं करना चाहिए कि if it's not for social change तो ये art नहीं है, ज़रूरी नहीं है. मतलब something is just beautiful and nice, and that's art. You know, a lot of my modern artist friends would get really annoyed, but if you know, a lot of them just can't draw. और फिर कहते हैं ये abstract art है, ये modern art है. मतलब वहाँ भी मेरे ख्याल में they need to grow up. But you know, मगर there are bits where that intersection can really lead to change. I'll give you a couple of examples. First, very, very important thing is about sexual violence. ये पूरी दुनिया में बहुत जगह लोगों ने देखा है कि women and men, people forget there are also men who are subject to lots of sexual violence. They can express those things a lot through drawing it, a lot through poetry, that's an art form, and in other short story लिखेंगे वो. ठीक है, जिसके अंदर है. So there are lots of artistic mediums through which people will talk about sexual violence that is being done to them. पाकिस्तान में pedophilia, both of men and women, is extremely high. ठीक है, वो अभी हम पहले बल्कि actually I was reading last जो panel था वहाँ I think the moderator is doing a sex registry, वो पाकिस्तान की कोई develop कर रहे हैं. तो मैं बस खुद सोच रहा था कि how are they going to develop this, मैं तो वहाँ आधा पाकिस्तान शायद उसमें आ जाए. Because we have no understanding of what it is. We have zero understanding of what it is. Art has a very critical and important role to actually bring those kahanis out, inform and educate the public कि harassment क्या होती है, sexual violence क्या होता है, sexual harassment क्या होती है, बच्चों के rights भी हैं इसमें. You know, and you will find a lot of kids who have been traumatized because 5, 6, 7, 8 साल के बच्चे थे, men and women, girls and boys both, who have been really traumatized, और फिर वो उस पर कोई कहानी लिखते हैं, कोई sculpture बनाएंगे इस तरीके का कि जो आपको indicate करेगा, and then you have those kinds of small conversations. So it is critical because these are very important issues that we do not talk about. And you directly talk about them, then the kids will go into this thing कि नहीं मैंने नहीं बताना, ये कोई गंदी चीज़ है या ये वही करना है. So art is a very important medium to actually kind of bring this out. Another very important thing, relations between boys and girls. A lot of guys don't know how to speak to a girl. A lot of girls don't know how to speak to a guy. You know, one of the real problems जो ये single sex schools, मैं जब छोटा था तो कम थे, अब बढ़ गए मेरे ख्याल में. It should be the other way around, but ये मेरे ख्याल में ज़्यादा अब बढ़ रहे हैं. Or whatever the reasoning behind that, but एक जो main मसला होता है when you have a single sex school is कि you do not understand how to deal with the other side. You have no clue. And why is sexual violence increasing in Pakistan? हम समझते हैं कि जी पता नहीं Netflix देख लिया तो कुछ हो जाएगा, या Indian film देख ली है जहाँ कुछ सालों तक you know when two people kissed एक फूल आ जाता था बड़ा सा. उसकी कोई वजह नहीं है. द वजह है कि अगर आप एक सिंगल सेक्स स्कूल में जाएंगे तो बोथ साइड्स विल ओनली थिंक ऑफ द अदर सेक्स एज अ सेक्स ऑब्जेक्ट बिकॉज आपको इंटरेक्शन नहीं आता. Again, art is a very important way to bring them together, to make them really understand how males and females need to interact, talk to each other, discuss ideas and everything. That's very important. The last thing that I really want to quickly say is about newer things. न्यूअर आइडियाज़. हम एक लाहौर में एक इवेंट करते हैं, उसका मैंने उर्दू में टाइटल रखा, किसी को समझ ही नहीं आया. अफकार ताज़ा रखा था, उसके बाद अंग्रेज़ी में थिंक फेस्ट रखा, तो हर एक को आगे समझ अच्छा हाँ ये क्या है, क्योंकि उर्दू भी हमारी काफ़ी पैदल ही है. सो अफकार ताज़ा क्या था? न्यूअर आइडियाज़. Newer ideas a lot of the times come through artworks. You know, they expand our horizons. They bring newer ideas, things that we have not, that might be at the back of our mind but haven't really come out forward. Especially in terms of rights. Look, 100 years ago rights कहाँ थे और लोग आज कहाँ हैं. बहुत हमने हद तक उसमें एडवांसमेंट हासिल की है और बड़ी पॉजिटिव भी की है, कुछ नेगेटिव भी की है, बट पॉजिटिव लार्जली की है. एंड अ लॉट ऑफ दैट हैज़ बीन चैनल्ड थ्रू डिफरेंट आर्ट फॉर्म्स. सो न्यूअर आइडियाज़ के वैनगार्ड पे बहुत कम लोगों का ये ख्याल है, मगर बहुत ज़्यादा जो एग्जाम्पल्स मिलती हैं कि न्यूअर आइडियाज़ के वैनगार्ड पे भी आर्ट है. सो सोशल चेंज इन टर्म्स ऑफ मसाइल उनको ठीक करने के लिए, बट ऑल्सो इन ब्रिंगिंग इन न्यूअर आइडियाज़ एंड हार्नेसिंग देम फॉर पॉजिटिव सोसाइटल एंड पर्सनल ग्रोथ.
Thank you, Dr. Yaqub, for that very insightful answer. Sonia, I'd like to ask you, have you ever faced pushback when addressing sensitive subjects? And if so, how did you navigate that? And do you know of anybody else or any other artists who face something like this?
Okay, my paintings usually, I talk about a lot of controversial subjects in that, but that's also the beauty of abstract art, that people don't realize I've spoken about it. So, and my work is all about the human interaction with the painting. So I might be talking about something very controversial, but it's what emotion evokes in you which I'm more interested in. And that's a whole part of my artistic process as well. There are a lot of artists who do face a lot of pushbacks, which happen even in a previous Biennale at Frey Hall, where an installation was broken down. There are many pushbacks that artists face, but it's how you navigate through them to bring about your message.
That's a very good point, and I think sometimes we can create this sense, we can add this censorship to the artwork to make a further statement, because that's the kind, art always responds to basically the society we're living in and the experiences we're having. So maybe we can add that to what we're trying to say. We can add our experiences to what the artwork is saying to say something further. Zeen, you'd like to say something?
I would like to say something.
Yeah.
I think हमने अभी बात की है about art and bringing art into the public in order to sensitize people about social awareness and things like that. And Bangar Saab just spoke about how art itself can also be that catalyst or that receptacle to change things. I do feel that पाकिस्तान के अंदर क्योंकि एक नेशनल आर्ट कलेक्शन या एक पब्लिक आर्ट कलेक्शन जो है वो नहीं है, सो आई थिंक उसकी भी एक नीड है कि ठीक है एक पब्लिक प्रोग्रामिंग भी होती है, लेकिन एक पब्लिक आर्ट कलेक्शन जो होती है वो भी एक लोगों की मेमोरी, it's like a memory, that is encased within that. So I think as a nation we also need to think about that, कि वो public art collections जो दुनिया में आपको मिलती हैं हमारे पास नहीं है, और फिर जो हैं वो doctored हैं और उनकी narrative एक particular lens से है. So maybe initiatives that expand that, public art collections, expand that narrative, give space within those narratives, within those archives, art archives, that concentrate on those instances in time when artists and art have come together to create change. And that archive does not just give you a sense of history and an identity, but like Bangar Saab said, it also allows you to think of an alternative future. So I think we are standing at that time. AI भी है, तो अब उसके अंदर सच क्या है झूठ क्या है वो भी नहीं पता, तो शायद हमें भी ज़रूरत है कि हम खुद अपनी आर्काइव्स को अब बिल्ड करें ताकि सच क्या है झूठ क्या है उसको कहीं तो हम शायद बना सकें. ये इनिशिएटिव की भी बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है.
If I can just add one line to this, I think ये इन्होंने बहुत excellent idea दिया है, और मैं एक सिर्फ एक एग्जाम्पल से इलस्ट्रेट करूँगा. हम जब किसी दुनिया के मेजर शहर में जाते हैं, लंदन हो, न्यूयॉर्क हो, पेरिस हो, तो क्या देखते हैं? हम सबसे पहले जाते हैं जी पेरिस में लूव जाके देखेंगे, अमेरिका में न्यूयॉर्क में मेट्रोपॉलिटन म्यूजियम ऑफ आर्ट देखेंगे, नेशनल गैलरी देखेंगे लंदन में. आधे से ज़्यादा टाइम अगर आप खाना नहीं खा रहे यहाँ खर्च हो रहा होता है. हम पाकिस्तान में कराची आपका शहर है, कोई विजिटर आएगा कहाँ लेके जाएंगे, कौन सी कोई आर्ट गैलरी है, ठीक है, लाहौर मैं रहता हूँ वहाँ, कहाँ, अगेन इस्लामाबाद. So ये जो है ना, ये ना सिर्फ these are not just spaces, they also become a part of your national identity. ये जो गोरे हैं ना, वो बेवकूफ़ नहीं है जिन्होंने करोड़ों रुपया इस पे किया खर्च, बिकॉज वो उनकी आइडेंटिटी बनाता है, वो उसकी आइडेंटिटी का एक बहुत अहम हिस्सा है. यहाँ हम अगर इस पंगे में रहे कि ये रिलीजियसली ठीक है कि ये नहीं है वगैरह, तो आइडेंटिटी क्राइसिस पाकिस्तान में हर लोग बोलते रहते हैं ना, वो इसलिए नहीं है कि हमने कोई गैलरी नहीं बनाई, हम मल्टीपल आइडेंटिटीज़ ही बना लें. हमने तो एक भी बनाने की कोशिश नहीं की, और जो बनाने की कोशिश की वो इतनी, खैर मारे जाने का ज़्यादा शौक नहीं है आज, मगर वन कैन इमेजिन कि हाउ कॉम्प्लिकेटेड दैट हैज़ एंडेड अप बीइंग. सो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर आवर आइडेंटिटी, फॉर जस्ट अ सिटी टू बी लिविंग, you know, for there to be, you know, artistic expression, because that is what you are. And पाकिस्तान में जो गैप है वो यही है कि नेशनल हमारा कोई ओनरशिप ही नहीं है, कोई थिंकिंग ही नहीं है. ओनरशिप तो बड़ी दूर की बात, इस पे थिंकिंग ही नहीं शुरू की. तो मैं ख्याल में इट्स एन एक्सीलेंट आइडिया, एंड आई होप कोई तो इस पे काम करे.
I think हमारा पूरा शहर म्यूजियम है.
Thank you.
And we have Mohata Palace, apart from lots of others. But anyway.
Now that we're on the topic of sensitive subjects, Tapu, can you tell us maybe some interesting, juicy examples of how you have addressed sensitive issues, and maybe some, you know, some backlash you got, or some interesting reactions?
Okay, social media, let's start with that. Social media is one of those things which has, it has its positives and its negatives. It's this real, you have this relationship of love and hate. And if you're lucky to be the one who gets the love, you're very lucky. If you get the hate, you really aren't. Because everybody is a critic and everybody has an opinion, and I think anonymity on the social media is probably the worst thing you can have, because people say things without having any consequences. So let's start with, my journey of photography of God knows how many years, I'm very young, it started off with, you know, there again are two different parts of me, which one is got fashion and the other one is documentation. So in the fashion, you know, fashion is something where you're always trying to find the next good thing, so you're always pushing the boundaries and having, you know, there's a margin you need to cross in order to evoke a bit of a response from people, and specifically in the era when we only had editorial magazines, which were, maybe they were like 6 or 8 magazines, and so you wanted to be the one who made people talk about it. So you pushed the boundaries, and that had a backlash. In those days was just a phone call from XYZ saying, ye kyun, ye kya, you know, aapke maa baap nahi hai, bhai baap hai, whatever the hell, beed bahne nahi hai, and that ended there, okay? As print media has disappeared and social media has turned up, specifically Instagram and Twitter, you have your, the audience has grown exponentially. So all of a sudden, when, you know, you were buying a magazine, only the person who could afford the magazine, who maybe had the same, you know, mind thought as you, would look at it and whatever, say things. But now everyone has an opinion. So you have to be careful with what, all cultures have a moral threshold. So if you stay within that moral threshold, you are fine. And I'm saying that also about, you know, street photography, documentation, about any kind of visual representation. If you stay within the cultural moral threshold, then you're fine. The minute you cross that, you will be, you know, you will be attacked by X, Y, Z. And I mean, to give you examples, there have been, you know, fashion designers who have unfortunately lifted images from X, Y, Z places and had repercussions. In earlier times, the repercussions were just, you know, that unpe fatwa ho gaya, whatever. But now the repercussions are global, and you have people whose images you have stolen from X, Y, you know, from international sources, speaking up against you. So there is it's a very fine line you have to cross when you're now in this era. A photographer or a visual artist or even a writer, you have to be very sensitive to what the social norms are and what cultural threshold is for morality.
So I think sensitivity is one thing, लेकिन जो हम face कर रहे हैं ना वो sensitivity के issues नहीं है, वो fear है. Sensitivity को आप acknowledge करें, वो ज़रूरी है. आप किसी context में कुछ बनाते हैं, sensitivity to your context is important, but fear kills creativity. That should not be part of society. And I think as a society, what's breeding in our society is fear. It's not a lack of sensitivity. So I think that's something we need to think about, how to mitigate that fear, how to counter it.
That's a very good point, Zeen. Thank you so much. So I'm a bit mindful of the time. We just have the last few minutes before we move on to the audience questions. Sonia, I'd like to ask you, and feel free to engage. Everybody can engage in these questions. So, what strategies do you feel artists can use to engage marginalized communities through their art? And do you feel that generative AI can help artists provide more further outreach?
You see, artists are creative, right? So you can use your creativity in many, many ways. What I believe is to empower people. Again, I'm mentioning Pakistanis living in a state of trauma. I'm sorry I'm sounding so morbid. But you need to empower them for them to have that mental space to understand other things too. So I believe in empowering different communities. Like I'll show you an example. These are products I make. This is another part of my artistic practice, is this company called Trio I have with my sister. And we make these out of ghost nets. So we're empowering fishermen to fish out all the ghost net, which is killing all the marine life and causing a lot of environmental damage. So, and then I go to the most impoverished areas where very conservative communities live, where women aren't allowed to leave their house. So I go from house to house. I've taught them the skill of turning something wasteful into a dog leash, which we are selling now. So you can use your skills in many different ways, and I believe in to empower other people. It's artists are it's a very selfish profession. It's just me and me when I'm painting, right? So how can I give back? How can I teach skills which I may have, which may benefit many other people? So, and when I go to these women's houses, I know all their stories, I know their families, we have meals together. We've been working for 5 years together now. We've cried together, we've laughed together. I don't think that human element AI can ever take over. It can take over maybe repetitive skill building, but the human element into making the fishermen feel awesome about themselves, the women who aren't allowed to leave their houses are financially and mentally empowered now. They're making a very beautiful product out of garbage, which we don't look twice at. So that's how I believe artists can really give back and to empower others, which I honestly don't think AI can ever take over.
This is such a wonderful example of converting something that's waste into something so useful, and also using your skills as an artist to do that and empowering communities. It's a really beautiful example. When I saw this on the ACF page earlier, I was very impressed, and I found out now that you're the designer behind these products. Lovely. So let's move towards the audience questions right now. It's the last 13 minutes of the session. Okay, so I have a question, which is that art is used as a medium to express social issues. Can it be used to solve social issues as well? Any one of you can feel free to respond.
Very much so. It can definitely be used to solve social issues. We've seen that with the American women voting in the 1920s. The suffragette movement did not have visuals until they had visuals, and when they did, they got women who weren't voting to vote. So that's one example that I can probably pull out.
Wonderful answer. In fact, I think what Sonia told us about what she's doing, that's also solving a number of social issues, which is she's providing people with employment and also creating like wonderful dog leashes that we can use, which are very useful for us.
And improving the environment.
And improving the environment.
Yeah. Cleaning up the oceans and...
Exactly. So she's achieving 3 social.
I'm sorry, I'm
Sorry,
cutting you, and it goes on to fund the most neglected in our society, which are the street animals.
Yes.
So the money we make out of this then goes and funds my sister's shelter where she rescues
Aisha
street
Chandrigar
animals.
Foundation that we all know about. Wonderful. Okay, so the next question is, should art curriculums be designed under the themes of social issues rather than just teaching genres of art? That's an interesting question. Would you like to respond?
Well, you are the teacher there, but
मैं-
let me just say one small line के जो मैंने पहले भी कहा था कि yes, but it should not just be limited to that because art has other elements too.
Yes.
ये सिर्फ ना कहना शुरू कर दे because see that's one of the very important things जो कि अब पाकिस्तान में हो रहा है, which is destroying education to large extent is कि you know the HEC and other government ones thinking नहीं जी अगर economic benefit नहीं आ रहा ना इससे तो बंद कराएं. ठीक है, so फिर तो मतलब disciplines like philosophy that have created practically everything in the world should be shut down because उसका economic impact तो कोई नहीं है. तो आर्ट का भी ज़रूरी नहीं है कि हर आर्ट की फॉर्म का कनेक्शन हो, मगर काफ़ी ज़्यादा आर्ट फॉर्म का कनेक्शन है. So it's not either or, it's a mix of all these genres that bring together, but there should be perhaps more, मतलब, and Tazeen can talk about this more, more awareness of where the intersections are and more harnessing of it.
बिल्कुल, आई थिंक जो अब एक healthy trend है in our education, which is to include other subjects, the liberal arts subjects, social sciences within a socially engaged and an engaged art practice in any case. मसला ये हो गया है कि हमने बिल्कुल आपने सही बात की कि choosing and limiting knowledge to a particular type of framework, उसकी वजह से मसला है. वरना अगर आप पहले एक आर्टिस्ट होते थे तो वही आर्टिस्ट थे जो इस तरह की डॉग लीशेस भी बना रहे होते थे, वही आर्टिस्ट थे जो और सोसाइटी के अंदर जो ईवल्स होते थे उनको देख के रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहे होते थे. कोई कैलीग्राफी के थ्रू एक्सप्रेस कर रहा होता था, कोई इमेजेस के थ्रू किसी की शायरी को, सादिकैन की पेंटिंग को देखिए फेयर हॉल में छत के ऊपर क्यों की गई है. इट्स टू ब्रिंग दोज इश्यूज टू द सोशल यू नो environment that we live in, right? So हमारी वो जो thinking हो गई है ना, एक compartmentalization हो गई जो हमारी thinking में, उसकी वजह से मसला है. अगर आप holistically चीज़ों को देखना शुरू करें और आप अपनी art practice को उस तरह explore करें तो कोई मसला ही नहीं है. And yes, curriculum should respond to so many of your contexts, but it can't be just about creating social change. Because like you said, there are so many other facets to art practice as well, including aesthetics.
Sometimes art doesn't have to be about revolution and social
No,
change.
it can just be
beautiful.
about
Yeah.
beautiful stuff, you know, inspiring people to produce even more.
Inspiration is
Yeah,
definitely-
imagination, creating, exploring new materials. Leather Dude is sitting here. It can also be about that, yeah?
Thank you for those lovely answers. So the next question is, currently the art exhibitions are artist-based. Do you think they should be restructured to keep them theme-based, expressing one or more particular social issues?
Okay, I can speak from the point of view as an artist, and usually all exhibitions in galleries are theme-based. And it's also honestly up to the freedom of the artist to decide what theme they want to base their work on. That's the whole point of art, it's freedom of expression. So I feel artists shouldn't be limited to a certain exhibitions are curated with certain themes in mind, and your artwork has to represent those themes. But I don't think all exhibitions should be, because that's the whole point of being an artist, to have that freedom to visually show what you want to show.
I agree with that, and I'd say that I think many exhibitions are curated beforehand. So maybe when you're talking about exhibitions being artist-based, those are the gallery collections where you can go in and just see, you know, a number of artists' work put together just for people to see and buy. But usually there's a curator, and before an exhibition, you know, the curator kind of decides on the theme, the artists know the themes beforehand, and then they respond to the theme by making artwork. So that's usually how it works. आप लोगों का कोई इसमें है? Otherwise I can move. Okay, so the next question is performing arts the most powerful tool to bring social change?
I guess this is for Tazeen.
Exactly.
नहीं, It is a powerful tool. It's not the most powerful tool to bring social change. ठीक है ना?
But it's a tool which can be
utilized, and it has been utilized throughout history to bring all kinds of social change, including
it's also very grassroots. That's the nice thing
the
about
reach,
it.
the reach.
It can be.
Yes, it can be. However, I would like to say कि जो सोशल चेंज हम उससे लेके आना चाह रहे हैं ना, उस पर सोचने की ज़रूरत है. ये सवाल मुझे सही नहीं लगता कि वो पावरफुल है या नहीं. सवाल ये होना चाहिए कि हम किस तरह का सोशल चेंज ला रहे हैं. मतलब कि थोड़ी देर पहले हम एक बात कर रहे थे ना इंक्लूसिविटी के ऊपर, मार्जिनलाइजेशन के ऊपर. इस वक्त अगर आप देखें अपनी परफॉर्मिंग आर्ट्स की थीम्स पे, तो किस तरह की थीम्स हैं? आर वी एक्नॉलेजिंग अदर कम्युनिटीज़? आर वी एक्नॉलेजिंग अदर एथनिसिटीज़? आर वी एक्नॉलेजिंग अदर रिलीजियस communities in the Pakistani society? Is Pakistani society only about bahu, saas, that's it? There is nothing else, no other narrative. Girls have nothing else to think about. You have no other stories. I think we as a country have become very limited in the kind of messages that we are trying to create through that powerful tool. I would like to give an example. When I used to act, like maybe 20 years back, my first appearance, amongst the first appearances on television, was this telefilm that I did on the theme of halala. एक औरत जिसकी शादी होती है और फिर उसकी तलाक हो जाती है और वो अपने मियाँ से वापस शादी करना चाहती है. मैं 1997 की बात कर रही हूँ. ये फिल्म तब चली, बार बार चली, ना मेरे ऊपर कोई फतवा आया, ना कोई मसला हुआ. It is in fact one of those films that made me a celebrity at that time. ठीक है? मैं ये नहीं कह रही कि मुझे मसला नहीं हुआ. My nanny was horrified. She was very upset with my mother. तुमने किस तरह की तज़ीन को फिल्म करने की इजाज़त दे लिया हलाला के कॉन्सेप्ट पे. आजकल आप इस तरह की थीम्स के बारे में सोच भी नहीं सकते. You can't have those conversations. Another film that I was part of, directed by Mehreen Jabbar, a story of 3 friends. All male and female relationships do not have to be about a romantic relationship, right? You can tell stories about friendship. What were those 3 friends? There was a girl who was played by me, who was somebody who wanted to bring change in social communities. ठीक है ना, टीचर होती है, सोशल कम्युनिटी में चेंज लाना चाहती है. एक लड़का है जिसको सिर्फ इस चीज़ का जनून है कि मैंने पैसे कमाने क्योंकि मैंने अपनी महबूबा से शादी करनी है. और एक तीसरा बंदा है, एक क्रिश्चियन, जो कि गाना गाना चाहता है. एंड ही इज़ फाइंडिंग इट डिफिकल्ट टू मेक अ स्पेस फॉर हिमसेल्फ इन दिस पाकिस्तानी religiously controlled society. And so these were the kind of stories that we told. And stories of friendship, stories about social issues. Nowadays that space has shrunk, and I think we as an audience and creatives need to resist and push back on that. We need to have our voices heard, and we need to tell stories that need to be told to bring about a better future.
You're right, and weren't there more like female-centric roles where they showed powerful women more in the 80s and 90s? Up that's barely there. It's more saas bahu. And
I just wanted to add to that कि anecdotally मैंने ज़रा थोड़ी सी इस पे एक दफ़ा research की on something which probably some people might think is controversial, but I'll still say it. कि how through performing arts, मतलब even theatre, let alone film and TV का तो बहुत ज़्यादा है, but even theatre तक है. Just the idea of the dupatta has changed. और ये बड़े मज़े की बात है कि if you look at it from the 1920s ना, दुपट्टा कम होता जा रहा था. And from the 1980s, you now not only just had the dupatta come back, then it went to a chadar, then it went to a hijab. Matlab, as a kid, I didn't even know the word existed, hijab. And now it's been normalized to such a great extent that, मैंने एक दफ़ा अपनी क्लास में सवाल पूछा to girls, मैंने कहा, did your grandmother wear this? And she's like, no. It's like, so was she a good Muslim? और वो confused होगी. She's like, पता नहीं. Because the way it's been enforced through film and TV, कि जी ये अगर नहीं है तो पता नहीं क्या कोई ग्रैंड किस्म का मसला है. सो इट हैज़ टू बी वेरी केयरफुल. वही जैसा तज़ीन सेड कि वैनगार्ड पे होना चाहिए, ये नहीं है कभी इट कैन बी यूज्ड फॉर अ कम्प्लीटली डिफरेंट पर्पस टू, विच इट हैज़ बिन. We forget it was the performing arts that made Nazism really popular. और वो मुसलिनी के तो सॉन्ग इतने मज़ेदार हैं, वैसे कभी गाने का शौक आ जाता है. सो ज़रूरी नहीं है कि वो एक पॉजिटिव साइड पे हो, उसकी बिल्कुल हार्नेसिंग ऑपोजिट साइड पे भी हो सकती है. सो वन हैज़ टू बी वेरी केयरफुल कि क्या है. सो इसीलिए इवन वो कहते हैं ना, सिर्फ एक फिल्म थी, सिर्फ एक ड्रामा था, उसका इफेक्ट बहुत लॉन्ग टर्म होता है, बहुत ज़्यादा, सिर्फ नहीं है, you know.
We have to thank Hasina Moeen for all those powerful women. So that's someone we have to mention. And talking about grassroots, even though I'm almost out of time, I've witnessed theatre done on roadsides in villages, which are so controversial that they could and never be put on stage or on TV, because they're speaking for their community and showing the problems of their community in a very, very grassroots level.
It comes to the end of the session. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. And thank you to our amazing panelists, Azim, Yaqub, Tapu, and Sonia, for the lovely, lovely panel that they put together, their lovely answers, and for participating in SOT 17 2024. We would also like to thank the sponsors, UBL, My Backpack, Allied Bank, MK Books, Kifayat Publishers, Franklin Covey, Paramount Books, and Wateen for helping us put this event together. And please do share your exclusive feedback on the SOT Events app, and do visit. There's also Magnificence, I think, some sort of setup happening in outdoors downstairs, so check that out as well. Thank you so much once again.